Hello to all. So, last time we were discussing about the birth of a person. Is there any real person who took birth in the shape of this body? Is there any person who claim over this body and all the experiences that are happening in term of this body? This was what we were trying to look into. So, when we think of our own birth, what we do, we look back at this body because this is what my present awareness is. This is what my present knowledge is that is supposedly help me to find out the fact of my own birth. And only then we try to find out the proof from within my own mind or possibly from within the external world, as it is supposed to be recorded somewhere in some departments, in some schools, in some certificates. I'm a body and I'm a born being. It's only a belief that's developed over the experience of this body. This body by itself is not a person, hence it is not subject to any past experience. It was never experienced in the past. Forget about the past, we can have 10 minutes right now and we try to experience this body, and then at the end we can analyze, is there any moment in the past when I experienced this body in the past? Okay, so this is what Vedanta tells us, advises us to look into this fact, look into the experience, do not believe anything. Is there any moment when I experienced this body in the past? No. And when we try to look back into the fact of the worth of my own being the person, and then I look back into the memory. And memory is only a conceptual thing, you see. Where I find the truth of my own being the person, is only in the memory. And memory is not a factual thing, it is just a conceptual thing. Whatever I find in the memory, it will be a conceptual. So what if I do not find any proof of my own birth? What will happen then? If there is no proof of my being a body or no proof of my being born in this world, what would happen then? I am a body and I am a born being. In this claim, I is a person, which is not a body. I is only a person and it's not a gross body. And what I call the physical body, the gross body, it is not any I, it's not any person, as it does not have any consciousness of being a person. This body by itself does not have any recognition of being a person. So there is a huge gap between this body and the person, which is usually left unverified. We do not try to go into the investigation to find out what that gap is, and is it real gap or is it an imaginary gap. We will try to look into the fact right now. So there is a huge gap between the person and the body. What I call the person, it appears with the appearance of being a person. It happens long after the birth of this body. This is body, this is a person. This person appears with the appearance of being a person, and it happens long after the birth of this body. It does not take birth or does not appear with the birth of this body, and this gap is there. This is the birth of the body and this is the appearance of the person. What I call the appearance of the person, it is a gradual development. Just like a body, it's a gradual development of its growth. Precisely this person that I see, it's not like it suddenly pop up and say, oh, I am this body, I experience this world. It's not like that. It's also a gradual development, and it appears with a certain kind of recognition, certain kind of appearance, certain kind of knowledge, certain kind of experience built over this body. And this gap is there. This gap is still there in the perception of a person right now in this very moment. It's a conceptual one, because the person which does not have its own nose, own face, its own you can say flesh bone, it appear over the experience of this body, and this gap is there. It does not take birth with the birth of this body. So that's why I call it a conceptual one. It is a conceptual, it's a concept, and take over this body. It see in its own reflection the physicality, the visibility of this body as if it is me. I am this person known by so and so name, and I am born to so and so parents. But as of now, I have been well settled with this recognition, with this knowledge that I am this body. And when someone asks you or asks me about my birth, then I look back with the present form of knowledge, what that knowledge is, that I am this body. Then I go in the process of this body, and on the way naturally I miss that point when this person appears. This person is cross over, and the person reach over to the birth of the body. This is my mother, I am born to this lady. This is how we claim. But this naturally, this point is missed there. This is the point from where the person appears. This not this person, but this person, that I am this body, this person. It appeared from within that point. Now what we do, we use only knowledge, we use only memory, and through memory when we go back, but do not find that place. We cannot look into that point. It comes only in the investigation, otherwise you will never find it. You will never find it. Now even if you recall the time when you got your first awareness of being a person, you will never find it, because that place is not there. Memory is like a physical ground. You can walk over it, you can stop over there. No, it's not like that. So you simply miss that point and goes back to the birth of the body, and hold responsible your mother responsible to your birth, and you say that I am born to this lady, which is not true in fact, because you cannot recall the time when this body was born. You can never, because the birth of the body and the appearance of a person that happens long after the birth of this body, these both points take place in unconsciousness. They both point, these both you see events, they happen in unconsciousness. They are unconscious of your being a person. So you in the present moment, your awareness is something different, and your being the person is something different, and the body is neither this nor that, nor you nor somebody else. It is simply comes under the recognition that I am this body, but it still continue to function being a part of the world, not being a part of this believer that I am this body and I took the birth and one day I will die. It never function in that sense. That's why even after recalling the time that when you were born, you can never find those 2 points, neither the birth of body nor the appearance of a person. It is impossible thing. Why so? Because in your present awareness you have known that it's only memory through which I try to figure out the birth of my being a person, isn't it? And whatever you see in the memory, that is only conceptual one. It can never give you a real person that you think you are right in this moment. It's just like this, you see. In your present awareness, you cannot look into any unconscious point. The birth of body is an unconscious thing. The appearance of a person is an unconscious thing. You cannot look into an unconscious point. How you can look into unconscious point? It's just like your own experience in the deep sleep. When you try to look into the experience of deep sleep, you do not see your own being a person. You never experience, you never see your own being a body, the birth of body, the world, or whatever you experience right now, you cannot experience there in the experience of deep sleep. Why so? Because that point is totally unconscious of your being a person. So precisely the appearance of a person that happens long after the body, the birth of the body, and the birth of the body itself, they both are unconscious point. And you are ever aware person right now in this clarity that these points are unconscious. You cannot look into them. If you have belief, you will associate with them, and then there appear belief which will hold you back from looking into the experience. And if you do not look into the experience, you will never come to a stand-alone clarity. Now this clarity right in this moment, which cannot find its own birth, its own face, its own nose, its own experience, it cannot find itself, because it's just like this. If you try to look into your own unconscious point, you can never, you can only find the unconsciousness of this body and mind and world. You can never find your own unconsciousness, sorry. Just like you can, the light cannot look into its own being, the tinge of darkness, it cannot. And the darkness cannot look into the light. It's impossible thing. You are being aware at this moment. Suddenly take a different attitude which does not depend upon your memory for its own being. It does not. It lift off. It take a different dimension. It doesn't look at the body as if it's me. Even if you look your face in the mirror, you will never see your own face. Regardless, you are seeing face in the mirror. You will remain ever clear in your own consciousness, and all the experiences will continue to happen. But no experience, whether it is experience of pain or experience of pleasure, they do not form any reality of a person. It's only the unconsciousness, ignorance, that was supposedly the reason of my being a person. But as of now, since everything is clear, you cannot, nor any experience at body level, give growth to any person. Hence, there is no one to see the person, but there is supreme clarity, which is beyond any recognition. This is what we are all the time. Only uninvestigated over ignorance hold us back from this clarity. Otherwise, we are pure clarity. I would like to say, in other terms, we say consciousness. Yes, it is true. We all are one undivided consciousness. Nothing less, nothing more. That's the only reality that is there. There's no person that can take birth. There's no person that can die. Thank you.